Hello Internet, and welcome to the Inazuma 11 bonus video. This video is going to go over various interesting aspects of the first Inazuma 11 game that I wasn't able to cover in my main Let's Play. We'll be going over things I missed, some more obscure regional differences between the English and Japanese versions, rewards for 100% completion, content exclusive to outside media such as the anime or spin-offs, and various beta materials from the game. So let's get started. First things first. You may remember early in the series, I was looking around the track and field for a character who would just give us some boots, and I never ended up finding them. It's this person. You've been doing well recently, haven't you? Put these on, they should help you win a few more. He will give you the Victory Boots, which increase your speed by 7. Turns out you can only get these if you talk to him with specifically Kevin, Jack, and Sam in your party. It's similar to getting the Victory Kit that we got earlier, where you need to have Mark, Jim, Tim, and Saggy in your party. It's just slightly easier since you only need players who you literally start the game with for this one. But I don't know why it's this way. I don't remember if I already said, but yeah, those increase your speed by 7. And this battle actually gives me an opportunity to show something that I hadn't talked about yet as well. The only battle formation we haven't used up to this point is B triangle. So let's use that now real quick. I don't know, there's not much to say about it. It's a battle formation. That's about it. Wow, look at that. The game's still not that hard. The battles aren't, at least. I don't know. What do you expect me to say? I was going to use this formation against Layton's team, but the circumstances of recording that battle were odd. I wasn't 100% sure I was even going to be able to fight Layton's team at that point, so I didn't really think to, go out of my way to go get B triangle before going to the flesh training facility then. If you go to the back alley in the shopping area, we can find this gentleman.
Curse that Ray Dog. He used me and then left me for dead. Now I can't go back to Royal Academy. Never mind Raimon. What's going to happen to me now? Curse them all.
Yeah, you can find Wintersea drunk in this back alley. I don't know when he starts appearing here. I didn't notice him until well into the post-game, but yeah, this is what's become of him, and surely we'll never see him with a position of power over children in this series ever again. Right? Right? There are two formations I've never shown in this Let's Play, the first being F Superstar 5. So let's use this for a half against Royal Academy. Oh, it's so atrocious. It even looks atrocious. Superstar 5 is a terrible formation with it being extremely front-loaded with 5 forwards and absolutely horrible defensively with only 2 defenders with a kind of middling midfield with 3 midfielders. This is really just a gag formation. Otaku is meant to be a terrible team. We know this, so yeah, there's really no reason to use this. Other formations are better. 5 forwards is absolutely overkill. Just use another formation. Don't bother with this. The other match formation I never showed is F Phoenix, which I will be using for the second half here. F Phoenix is actually pretty solid, with all of the defenders and midfielders sort of just being grouped up in the middle, allowing you to basically always have a chance to maintain possession before the opponent can get to the goal, and 3 forwards on the front line you can pass to shoot. Yeah, it's just pretty solid. There's definitely better formations, like most of the ones I've used throughout the Let's Play, but it's sort of in the same category as all the ones you start with, you know? Like, basic is pretty good, butterfly is pretty good, midfield block is pretty good. I think Phoenix is kind of just grouped up with those and being pretty good. Forwards are also a good distance apart from each other. I didn't realize just how far apart from each other they all were, but yeah, they sure are. King just failed to stop Spiral Shot.
Keep your focus!
I used it on accident. I was gonna go for Eagle Buster or whatever other like super strong move Max has, but I mistapped on Spiral Shot and King still failed to stop it. That's one way to S-rank Royal Academy. That was certainly one way to earn that S-rank reward. Clone block, hell yeah. On that topic, I never really explained what happens if you have 99 of a certain item but get rewarded that same item for winning a match or a battle, or if you find one in a chest. It's pretty simple. Your reward is simply going to be converted into whatever that item's prestige cost is in shops. This way you can simply buy the reward when you have room for it again. You're out of luck if it's like a move manual that you can't buy in shops, but whatever. If you use a cheat code to obtain every item in the game, you will get, obviously, 999 of every move manual as well. But there are duplicates of Inazuma Break, which is not over here. Where is it? Well, Inazuma Break is somewhere. It's not here, clearly. But Inazuma Break and Inazuma Drop have duplicate manuals that function identically to the other one. They just have different descriptions. So the one you get normally would say uses a big partner as a stepping stone for a super high jump shot for Inazuma Drop, while the one that goes unused says, "This lightning shot requires a stout player to work with an agile buddy." For some reason, the duplicate of Inazuma Drop also has, like, completely different typography from every other move manual in the game. I don't know what the deal with this one is, but cool. Yeah, you basically just get to have twice as many Inazuma Break and Drop manuals as the other ones. There's the Inazuma Break ones, along with all these skills. Something I didn't know until finishing the video about the 3DS version of Inazuma 11 is that in the original Japanese and American version, basically every player's stats are just based on the same 10 or so templates, and this includes their freedom stat too. This is immediately noticeable when you have a bunch of level 99 players grouped together where a ton of them overlap with each other. Yeah, they didn't try very hard with making every player unique outside of, like, their moves. Their stats can be identical at times. And this goes for the players on your team, too, so yeah, that's nice. One thing I never showed is that you can absolutely cheese recruit searching in this game. When Nelly or Celia tell you to come back to the club room to see the results of your search, save the game before you talk to them, and preferably save, like, right in front of them, because it will be much faster for you. After that, you can obviously check to see who they found. I looked from Otaku, and I regret it, because I hate pretty much all of these people, but yeah. So if you don't see anyone you want, which I was gonna recruit the Otaku artist here, but I don't like these characters. But if you don't see anyone you want, simply press start, press yes to go back to the main menu, continue, talk to her again, see who she found. The list will refresh and have different characters. I abused this pretty heavily when I was building my teams for the premium competition route for the elemental teams. This is, like, this is just the easiest way to get characters that you actually want. So, yeah, abuse this. It works for Nelly and Celia for, like, name searches, so... Or not name searches, every other type of search besides name searches, basically. Yeah, it's nice. Speaking of recruitment, I never showed what a 100% complete player binder looks like. Now, counting DLC scouts and events that are only available from Inazuma 11-2 in this version, there are 808 scouts in Inazuma 11. They make up the vast majority of the over 1,000 players in this game, and there is really no feasible way for me to give all of them a mention in this section. I'm simply going to go through the menu showing you the first player on every page, because I don't want half of this video to just be showing you random scouts. I did want to mention, though, that there is a scout named Doug Walker, actor in the hit film Angry Video Game Nerd the Movie. This is obviously going to go on for a while. There are a lot of scouts, so if you want to skip this, just skip to 1620 in the video. You're welcome. I also forgot to mention that in the US and Japanese versions, any female characters who you recruit will use the male body types. This is because those are the only ones that exist at this point in the series. Female characters weren't added as a normal thing until this game's sequel, so they didn't bother creating a unique body type for that for the, like, 5 female players in the game. On a related note, in all releases of the game, female characters will wear the male school uniform when recruited, rather than the female uniform worn by the managers, Aurelia, and various NPCs around the school. Even weirder is that these grown adults from Street Sallies and veterans are walking around wearing a junior high school uniform when they join the team. But the less we think about that, the better, probably. For completing the binder, you unlock the Inazuma kit. The lightning bolt emblazoned on the chest is striking. I actually agree. I really, really do like this kit. It's a really nice one. But also, this is kind of a lame reward. They could have given you Aphrodite for this. Please let me play as Aphrodite. A few more notable scouts do exist in this game than the ones I showed, those being like the special scouts on the overworld. There are more, and I didn't show them. These ones can only be found by searching by name. First, I'm going to be searching for Nino. And it's not Nino, you can't convince me otherwise. There's no silly little squiggle over the N. Also, I know it's not Nino because I know who this is. Celia will find Tonino. Tonino is how it's properly meant to be because that's his nickname, but it wasn't localized like that because why would it be? A popular lover of music, he's been a dreamer his whole life. I'll talk about him after I've recruited the whole band. But he's in the baseball club. Is that an insult? What? He plays in the sandpit in the park near your house. Why? Woohoo! Yeah, listen to my song and feel the beat, yeah? Ho! Kick the beat! I'll be cheering you on, bro. Oh yeah, go on! Oh yeah, go on! Did that fire you up? Oh yeah! It sure did. Thank you, but you're too late. I've already finished my last song, no more encores. I'll offer you my skills. Call me Ton Nino. Whenever you feel down, just sing your troubles away. Yeah! I mean, you could just kind of tell he's a special scout based on that dialogue, right? He comes now in Flurry Dash, which isn't bad, especially at level 8. Next, I want to search for Ringo. So we found Ringo Spinning and Don Ringo. Music-loving prankster, don't let his angelic looks fool you. This is who we're looking for, not Ringo Spinning. He is also in the baseball club. Seems to go to the riverbank all the time. He might be hiding somewhere. Good luck finding him. Okay. So I guess I'm playing hide and seek with him. I think I found him. Yep. I'm impressed you managed to find me. Why don't I join your team as a reward? Okay. You can call me Don Ringo. Let's give it our best shot. Ringo joined you. A music-loving prankster, don't let his angelic looks fool you. He starts with nothing. Well, that's nice of him. Next, I want to search for A, spelled E-I. A-King, a charming man who loves music. He also loves slurping his noodles. Good for him. He's in the tennis club. You can always find him hanging around the noodle shop in the shopping area. It's a good place to hang out. My favorite meal? Why, that'd be pork noodle soup. 60% of my body mass is made of that stuff. The other 40 is secret. I like good food and horoscopes. I can debone a fish with lightning speed. This gem of a man would like to join your team. Sure, man. Glad to be of service. The name's A-King, but you can call me A. A joined you. It's a level 8 fire defender. It's pretty rare. You don't see a lot of fire defenders. I probably would have used him on my, like, fire element team if I thought of it, but I didn't. There's one more. We want to search for Dot. Not Doe. Oh, I missed! We're searching for Dot. Dot it. She'll get looking. Hiroshi Dot, a music-loving bad boy, often mistaken for someone else. In the tennis club. He can usually be found somewhere around the tower. That's another good place to hang out. People always mistake me for the wrong guy. You better not mix me up too. I'm not an admiral, and I'm not a hermit either. You see, my name is Hiroshi Dot. Well, got that memorized. Yeah. Oh, my friend. You're the only one who understands me. I'll play for you, but only because it's you. Don't lump me together with the rest of those lot. Dot joined you. They all have great personality in this dialogue. He is a wind midfielder, and he doesn't come knowing anything. Awesome. So you may be wondering, they're all music connected. Who the fuck are they? Nino is the lead singer. Don Ringo is the former drummer. Brother A. King is a former guitarist. And Hiroshi Dot is a side vocalist and a dancer. These are the members of T-Pistonz, the band that composed the opening themes for basically every single Inazuma 11 game and every anime opening. Like, they are sort of, no pun intended, instrumental to Inazuma 11's identity. So yeah, it's cool that they're here. These guys aren't incredibly strong like Saggy, but it's just cool that they're included. This isn't all of T-Pistonz, obviously. More members get added in future games, but these are all we can recruit in the first game, at least. I do want to mention that Tonino looks absolutely nothing like Tonino in this game or the second game, and they updated his sprite in the third game to actually look like him. So yeah. Cool. And speaking of special scouts, I mentioned before that Inazuma 11's European version can communicate with Inazuma 11 too. This is weird, glitchy, and limited. The same general rules apply. You can't trade story-relevant characters from either game, and you can't trade characters who your partner already has. However, you can trade Inazuma 11 2 exclusive scouts into the first game, as seen in my footage. Inazuma 11 2 players can also trade any of their recruits, though any listed beyond the first 16 are listed in the index order instead of the order you actually have them in your team menu. There's also a warning in-game when trading between the first and second games that player moves may change between the first and second games. And while this is true, as skills and a bunch of moves aren't on player movesets in the first game, this is apparently very buggy. Apparently, sometimes characters will just keep their starting moves from the sequel and learn anything that they'd have at that point in the first game, which means I guess you can have players use skills in Inazuma 11 1 as if this game needed to be made any easier. It is, in theory, possible to get moves from the sequel into the first game legally through trading by teaching it to a scout through a move manual in the second game, then trading them in, as long as trading doesn't erase the 5th or 6th move slots, and then you could teach them legally to story characters through teaching moves with Veteran. This is because, like I mentioned before, cheats to get every item will also give you every single move manual from the sequel. Only a few of these are obtainable legitimately without trading via the extra and premium competition route, specifically Dark Phoenix, Dual Smash, Inazuma 1-Drop, and Eagle Buster. That's the name of that one. Matches are also possible between Inazuma 11 1 and 2. Inazuma 11 2 player can use any moves exclusive to the sequel, but mechanics like long shots and shot blocks aren't usable, and move levels aren't displayed. Otherwise, it's pretty normal. Inazuma 11 2 players just have the advantage of being able to use Aphrodite. I also want to show what it looks like to get to a penalty shootout. You basically just keep doing penalty shots until one team has more, like, goals. I don't know. You're unlikely to ever actually see this in gameplay, but I figured I'd show it because when else are you gonna see this?
What went wrong?
Now, onto regional differences and things that only appear in the anime or other media. The European version of Inazuma 11 is obviously based on Inazuma 11 2's engine and is as a result the best version of the game. This is a matter of opinion, but it has more content and feels better to play to me, so I'm going to say it. The Japanese versions of the first game use Ryu Seishun no Inazuma 11 as their intro theme, and as a result, the Japanese intro has more parts to the animation in its intro that were cut from the Western versions. Every other version uses Tachiya Gario since it is the song that was used for the anime's intro. Despite this, I'm sorry, there's so many Japanese words in this section and I'm going to pronounce them all wrong and you're just gonna have to deal with it. It's gonna be a lot of Toho Project. Toho Project. Despite this, Junjo Seishun Love, I'm sorry, is used in every release's credits despite the first outro written for the anime being a fan favorite. Why do I have to say the name of the song in every sentence? Come on. Junjo Seishun Love's vocals are also only used in the Japanese version for whatever reason, despite the American version using the Japanese vocals for Tachiya Gario, implying they didn't care if people understood. This is really stupid because the credits outright show Sylvia, Celia, and Nelly singing the song, but there's just no lyrics in anything other than the Japanese version. I want to bring up the anime briefly here because it does a lot of work to make the story of the first Inazuma 11, well, actually good, frankly. It removes a lot of cool things, unfortunately, like Umbrella Junior High and especially Street Sallies, but it also removes a lot of bloat, like the whole Raimon poisoning the water supply thing at the beginning of Chapter 10. It also has significantly better character moments for many characters, especially Mark, Axel, Jude, and Ray Dark, who are definitely the key players in this first story. There are other changes. For example, Mark doesn't learn Majin the Hand until the match against Zeus, but I don't want to give too much away. I highly recommend checking out the anime yourself if you're able to. It's a great watch, and the second game going forward kind of just assumes you've watched it, so yeah. The manga is also worth mentioning. Kind of. I only want to mention it because Peabody is on the main team in place of Sam. Otherwise, the manga has a lot more glaring omissions that make it hard to recommend to experience the story of the first game, including Celia, who just straight up doesn't exist. Do you remember seeing the bracket for the Football Frontier and all those team names that sounded really cool that ultimately we just aren't able to see at all? Well, a few of these teams do exist in other media. The first is the one who appears in the anime, Mangrove, or Caribbean, as it's called in the Japanese version. These guys are a badass pirate-themed team. I really think it's a shame we never get to see them in action because they literally only exist in the anime for Aphrodite to Aura Farm. They lost in 10 minutes when nobody on their team was able to move. Yeah, they tried a little harder to build up Zeus in the anime than they did in the game. Next are teams from Inazuma 11 Everyday Plus, and this game certainly is a thing that existed. I don't have time to go into all the details about the game, because I frankly don't understand all the details about the game. To me, it looks like it's Nintendogs, except you take care of Mark, Axel, or Jude instead of a dog. And I don't care if that's inaccurate to what the game is, because I'm certainly not making a Let's Play of Inazuma 11 Everyday Plus right now, am I? The first team is Empress Junior High, or Beauty, as it's known in the Japanese version. Only 2 members from this team are known, named David, the captain, and Lucy. This is apparently the team Royal Academy faced in the semi-finals of the Football Frontier Regional Qualifiers as their last match before Raimon. I think this team's gimmick is pretty obvious. They apparently wear very strong perfume. There's not much else to say here. Next is Shun Junior High, or Ryugu. Again, only 2 members from the team are known. Odafune, the captain, and Kamenaga. Sorry. Their team is based on Ryugujo, which is the supernatural undersea palace of the dragon god in Japanese tradition. This is apparently the team Royal fought in the quarterfinal. They also appear in the manga. Apparently after losing to Royal, 5 of their members went to attack Jude, but none of them could hit him. I have had no interest in reading the manga up to this point, but if they make Jude even more of a badass, maybe I should. These teams have never shown up in any media outside of their depictions in the anime and Everyday Plus, and the manga, I guess, making them kind of the most exclusive teams in the series. And on a sort of tangentially similar topic, I feel I should mention that while Layton's team doesn't have legitimately accessible bios in Inazuma 11 itself, since you can't view your opponent's teams in battle, they do have bios you can read in Inazuma 11 123 Endomemoro Densatsu, the Japan-only collection of the first 6 Inazuma 11 games. This game has its own special player binder, and in it you can view every player from across the original series. This does include Layton's team. The information isn't anything mind-blowing, it just tells you their positions and a brief character description, and I will read those now. Herschel Layton, male defender. A British gentleman who loves puzzles. He is a professor at a university in London. Flora Reinhold, female midfielder. A girl who Layton and Luke meet during the Golden Fruit scandal. Anthony Anton Herzen, male forward. A young man who lives in Herzen Castle. He is rumored to be an immortal vampire. Chelmy Bronson, male defender. Scotland Yard inspector. His favorite food is his wife's homemade sweet potatoes. Don Paolo, male defender. A scientist who views Layton as a rival. He goes on a rampage using his latest inventions. And Luke Triton, male midfielder. Layton's self-styled top student. He can talk to animals. I don't know if that's, like, lore, but this description gets carried over into the Inazuma 11 Go games when he reappears, so I guess Luke can talk to animals. I don't know. I've never played Professor Layton. I don't know if that's canon, but I kinda hope it is. That's all for that stuff, so we're on to my favorite part of these bonus videos. Cut content and beta materials and all that garbage. And oh boy, Inazuma 11 has more than you might think. First, I want to introduce you to this. This is the Level 5 Premium Silver Demo cartridge. This was given to people who attended Tokyo Game Show in 2007 and braved the line for Level 5's booth. Remember, at this time, a new Professor Layton game was releasing in just a few months, so this line would have been packed. This cartridge contains a small Professor Layton side story, which leads into Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box. Cool. But it also has a very, very, very early demo of Inazuma 11. And I mean very, very, very. To start with,
Inazuma 11!
I mean, that's the early logo. And that's just not the way that is said in the final version. Anyway, there is a small tutorial video at the top of the start menu. First, it's gonna show us a bunch of, like, advertisements for the game, including concept art. That art at the bottom of the screen there is on the original, like, beta box art. Seeing Nathan with both eyes uncovered here. A bunch of scary looking guys, including Willy wearing a red uniform and King wearing a green Power Rangers outfit. Jude doesn't have his cape here. And here's a tutorial video. Jude doesn't have his cape there. You are going to see a ton of weird differences between the final game here. You can see Drent has slightly lighter skin there than he does in the final game, and we'll be seeing some remnants of that in the playable part of this as well. You can see the art style is completely different, but it's hard to really make out what's happening because this is Nintendo DS quality FMV. Don't worry. There is a playable part of this, and you will be seeing in detail how fucking weird this demo is. But yeah, I mean, this is very early footage. Anyway, we're going to get started with the actual demo itself now. You can do either the story leading into the match, or you can do just the match. We are going to do the story leading into it. It's going to tell us how the game is controlled. That short FMV scene is not in the final game. Well, it kind of is, but only a part of it. That's very early artwork compared to what we see in the final game here. And that is a very early sprite for Mark. That's basically Nellie's final sprite, at least. Very different sounds for the text. It's a lot more Professor Layton-esque. But obviously that is not the main talking point here. Look at this art style. Also, telling you what the objective is has a different jingle and also takes a lot longer and gets kind of annoying after a while. The art style is completely different. You also can't control the overworld with the touchscreen. You have to use the D-pad, and the B button doesn't even make you go faster. So, yeah, this is very, very early. It's also, like, kind of like ice physics, because Mark keeps moving after I let go of the D-pad. It's a very different game. This art style is kind of ugly, but whatever. This guy, I'm pretty sure that's the guy in the final game, I'm pretty sure, who goes and burns all the books, like when we're looking for Inazuma Drop. But there is a more interesting guy. This guy. Look at him. So, this guy is an unused character, basically. This is the only person you'll meet in this demo who does not appear in the final game. He has brown hair and dot eyes, and his face sprite is still in the files for the final game, but he doesn't ultimately show up at all. Our objective right now is to go look that Royal Academy is here, but we can talk to these people, at least to Nellie. Just shove them aside. Fuck you, Todd. Even in this version. I don't think this artwork appears in the final game. And this FMV is significantly shortened, but these are most likely final. I don't know why it's doing that, because I'm playing on real hardware, but whatever. Yeah, this is just significantly shortened, all the dialogue is removed. It's just to show you that Royal Academy's scary, but these are the final versions of these FMVs when they do show up. Shut up, Todd. Hi, Nathan. That sprite for Mark goes unused, I believe, in the final. Just Mark looking happy instead of terrifying. This is an early sprite for her. She can't find Jack. We obviously have to find him before we go to fight Royal Academy. These freaks are going with us, and we get to listen to We gotta find Jack. We gotta find Jack! I forgot I can't control it with the touchscreen. I got too used to doing that. Obviously, he's in the locker still. And he's very scared. I kinda really like Jack's sprites in this demo. Like, he's very expressive. And I feel like he was more expressive in the original Japanese version of the final game, too. But yeah, his sprites are great here. The Sumo Club isn't going to waste our time here, which is nice. I genuinely do not like that the Sumo Club battle happens in this chapter. I think it's unnecessary and just bloats the chapter more than it needs to. We can't go further. We can't go upstairs or explore more of the school right now. We just need to talk to Sylvia to go outside. She's gonna say something mysterious, I'm sure. I can't read it.
帝国学園から突然申し込まれた不可解な練習試合。
I believe this is the same voice actor that Mark has in the final Japanese version.
天才ゲームメーカー、木戸優斗率いる最強の軍団、帝国学園に。
It's not a bad voice
勝ち目
for
の
him.
ない無謀な戦いを挑むことになってしまった。だけどそこには誰も予測できない意外な結末。
I am used to Mark being a little more expressive, though.
警告が来た。
That's alright, though. Chapter 1. Steve said something. Squidward said something. Bye, Squidward. And we have an objective. We can talk to our teammates out here right now, which sounds like a good idea, even though they don't have much to say. Talking to Axel will progress the story, but he is down here, so I'm going to avoid that for now. Jim has some words to say. Timmy does too. He's asking questions. Kevin looks pissed as usual in the Japanese version. Wintersea's saying some words. Can we not go... Okay, we can't go further down. Todd is saying something. Oh, we're trying to go too far, I think. So if you try to leave, Todd will yell at you. And I cannot imagine a worse fate. Can I go over here? No, I cannot. Okay. Yeah, you can see this is a very, very different Raimon. You can do next to nothing, really. Can I go over to the club room? No. Looks like the layout of the school is mostly the same. There's just no paths going around the pitch, which is weird. Shut up, Todd. Hi, Axel. Axel's face is terrifying, but right now we aren't really seeing an example of that. Just you wait. It gets worse. Just before the match starts, we have a cute little animation. That's cut from the final game, but I think it's really cute, and I wish it actually made it into the final game. This shot of the pitch with the tower in the background doesn't show up, nor does this shot with Jude with a very nose. He has a very cool sprite here. Samford's sprite kind of looks better than his sprite in any version of the finished game. Jude looks very arrogant, but I like his sprite a lot here. Axel's smile is terrifying. It looks straight up evil. I do not like it at all. So yeah. Most of the faces you'll see in this version of the game, at least the ones that aren't used in the official game, which is most of them, seem to be taken straight from the official art or concept art. Because I know I've seen this smile before, and I hated it as much then as I do now. Raimon versus Royal Academy. Right away, we can't actually check the info of our players. We aren't allowed to. What I can tell you, though, is that almost all of your players have special moves. Mark has God Hand, Jim and Jack have the Wall, at least Nathan and Max have Flurry Dash, potentially more of these characters, and then Axel and Kevin both have Fire Tornado. This is definitely a very early version of the game because these are not their final moves at all. At a certain point, it's also possible to use Inazuma Drop, but we'll get into that soon. Royal, we also aren't allowed to check the info of, but they are also using F Basic, and you'll hear that the funny penis music is playing for this match, which is awesome. For their moves, I have seen Hatch use Wrath Shot, I've seen Jude use Twin Boost, I've seen Swing use Clone Faker, and I've seen King use Power Shield, though I'm sure there's also a block move that I just haven't seen. Most of these move animations are going to be very similar to the variants in the final game, but Wrath Shot at least looks just a little bit faster, which maybe we'll be seeing, but maybe I'll actually play well and we won't, so I just want to point that out now. So yeah, let's just get started. Alright. So this may be a match against Royal, but... Oh my god, Everybody's stats suck, so the ball just goes flying all over all the time. It's kind of dreadful. Okay. Why did I pass that to him? Okay. Can you get past Drent, please? Okay. Well, you could see Drent's skin is lighter there. The same goes for Kevin and Samford, so if you actually see their models, their skin is lighter than in their artwork. Okay. At least Jim gets to use the wall. Jude could have shot there. I'm kind of glad he didn't. Yeah, so as should probably be obvious by the fact we have special moves and we're able to use them, such as Timmy using Flurry Dash here. Everybody has moves that aren't on their final moveset, except for Axel at least. Okay, how did that work? Like, I said the American version felt bad to play. This does really feel bad to play. There are some pretty striking differences between like this and the final game. Obviously the art style is different. Overall, the gameplay is very, very, very similar. There are just some small differences that make it really jarring. Can I get up to the net? No, I can't because I can't pass over you. Going fired up does exist in this version of the game, and if you go oh my god, Samford looks so wrong with that. Oh my god. Okay. I completely lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was saying. Also, Jim can't use moves anymore. Going fired up does exist. Works the same way as the final Japanese version, so if you shoot 3 times and fail to get the ball in, why can I shoot from here? If you choose a normal, like, option for shooting, what it's telling me about going fired up there. If you choose a normal option, it doesn't let you choose the power like it does in the final game. Anyway, going fired up works the same way. So you have to fail to shoot 3 times with a normal shot, and then you'll go fired up. It feels like, well, it seems like go after that is when you unlock Inazuma Drop on Kevin and Axel, at least from Eiry's playing. Also, a very, very early fail animation for a goalkeeper. That looked atrocious. At least some of the music here is finalized, which is nice. Get to hear, like, how far back some of this music really goes in the game's development. Okay, we got the first goal at least, which is good. I do not like how the ball just goes all over the place. Everybody feels a lot slower too. And you get these little, like, automated duels way too often in this version. It's like all the time. It kind of sucks. Oh! Yeah, Killer Slide! That's definitely a very early animation for that move. Okay. Well, that's cool. I'm glad I got to see that. Does offside exist in this version? I don't know. It doesn't look like it. God, Axel just cannot beat Drent. It doesn't look like it's even possible. Okay, end of the first half. I don't know what you're saying, Mark, but Axel seems terrifying about it, so that's fine. 55-45. You get the same stats that you would get normally, which is good. We've used more special moves than them, which is good. Alright. God, these sprites are so ugly. Okay. Hopefully they don't score. That would be nice. I would like to get the ball up to the net. I do not like how this feels. Everybody's so slow. I obviously you can't see everybody's stats, so I don't know what everybody's speed stat is, but it cannot be anything, like, good. That's for sure. Okay, Swing can't use Clone Faker anymore, at least. That's good. Oh. Oh, Jim can't use the wall either, though. Okay, Mark. Hopefully you can stop a twin boot. Oh, he's not even going for it. Okay. As you can see, Jude does have his cape, so that tutorial video from before was recorded on an even earlier version of the game. Alright, Jack, Todd, pass it up, and that was a very effective use of passing there, clearly. Yeah, in the final game, there is no world where in any match Todd is able to steal the ball from Jude, but okay, sure. Get it, get it, get it? What I was saying about Fired Up before is that it seems like going Fired Up might be a prerequisite to using combo moves. Specifically, Inazuma Drop, when Eiry was playing, was unlocked when she went Fired Up, and that was the only thing that seemed like it could have potentially unlocked it. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. That was going to the side of the goal anyway, Mark, but sure. Show off that you can catch it. Alright. Nathan, Steve, I think. It's hard to tell who everybody is here. It is just an onslaught! Mark has gone through all of his TP. Oh, we gotta score another goal because it's seeming pretty likely that they're gonna score soon. They're fired up now. There's no music for going Fired Up, which is a little awkward. It seems like the distance you need to pass for a ball to go up in the air is pretty high, too. Yeah, there was no shot there. Seems like goalkeepers are still really strong in normal command duels. Alright. Thanks for passing to Sam. That's helpful. That sound effect for Flurry Dash is different at least, even if the animation is mostly the same. Okay. Let's go over Flurry Dash. The shading on Max's sprite looks weird. It looks like he's just wearing a very, very revealing uniform. Good for him if he has the confidence for it, I guess. God, Todd just doesn't have any moves. But apparently he's just goated. I hate that Todd is goated in this version. What the fuck? That's awful. Well, if offside doesn't exist, if I can get past Drent here, then I guess I get to shoot again. Unless it just ends at 30 minutes. It doesn't. Nice, okay. And yeah, it seems like going Fired Up is the prerequisite to getting Inazuma Drop, so that's just not an option. That would make Inazuma 11's final game suck. And King, as usual, simply not using any moves. Okay. Sure, buddy. You're fired up. You could have used it for 10 TP and you still didn't. Or 15, I guess, because it's the... Whatever. Anyway, we won, which is normally not possible in this practice match. That is an early version of the victory theme, too. I don't know what you're saying, but you look terrifying while you're saying it. Hi, Jude. Hi, Samford. Hi, Jude again. Nice. We had better possession than them, too, which it sure didn't feel like it.
これが俺たちライモンサッカー部のデビュー戦となった。しかしこの時俺たちはまだ帝国学園の本当の恐ろしさに気づいてはいなかったんだ。こうしてライモンイレブンの伝説は始まったのである。
To be continued. The strangest thing about this demo is that it seems like you're intended to win against Royal Academy. Granted, if you win against Royal Academy in the final game, the story still continues exactly as normal, but the demo actually acknowledges that you won. Royal doesn't concede or anything. This could just be a difference for the demo, and it probably is, honestly, but I don't know. I can't read Japanese. But, yeah, that's all. After beating Royal, you get some selling points for the final game, and that's it for the demo. Overall, this demo is worth playing if you want to see a bunch of small changes and pre-release artwork, but I mean, I don't know. It's only around 20 to 30 minutes long. It's not a huge time sink, and it's a neat time capsule to see what this game could have been. Thank God the art style was changed, though. It just looks a little too RPG makery for my tastes. You can see there is also multiplayer in this demo. We're definitely not going to be doing this. And it was already kind of on screen during the demo, but I do want to at least show, like, the early logo and early box art for the game. The box art's actually really cool conceptually, and I might like it more than what they went with. It's probably good that they changed the logo, though. There is a list of early localized names for moves in the European version's files. At least, some early localized moves. Most of these are pretty self-explanatory, and I honestly think some of these are better than the names they ended up going with, but whatever. God Hand was originally going to be called Almighty Hand. Baby Dragon was going to be Sledshot. God Knows was going to be Angel Wings. Heaven's Time was going to be Eternal Time. Emperor Penguin number 2 was going to be King Penguin number 2. Thank God they didn't go with that one, because Emperor Penguins are real animals, and that's just an unnecessary change. Utter Gutsiness Bat was going to be Gutsy Bat. Fire Rooster was going to be Firebird. Way fucking cooler. Breakthrough was going to be Through Kick. Horn Train was going to be Raging Bull. Majin the Hand was going to be Demon Hand. And Rocket Kobushi, my beloved, was going to be Rocket Fist. I have no idea why this one wasn't changed. There's also files for a lot of early player names for scouts in the sequel, along with basically an entire story team in the sequel. I'd rather go over this list when we get there, though. In the sequel. How many times can I say in the sequel in this paragraph? I guess we'll find out in the sequel. This paragraph is the sequel to that paragraph. I said in the sequel 5 times in that previous paragraph. There's an early design for the world map present in the final game, though only one part of it is ever visible in normal gameplay. The way the world map works is that when you unlock a new location, a sprite of that location covers the image of the map, with some text telling you what the location is. The map image that these sprites cover, though, is an early version. Raimon and the tower are both different on this map, though this isn't normally visible, as by the time you unlock the world map, both of these areas are already unlocked. The tower is originally shorter, while the lightning bolt on Raimon's main building is colored differently and slightly larger, and the pitch is white. The real noticeable one, though, is the station. This area looks completely different after unlocking it, with a ton of new buildings added to the area. You'd probably never notice this in the, like, final game, but yeah, it's just a silly little mistake. I think it's worth talking about beta character designs, though I honestly don't have much of note to talk about aside from Bobby and Aphrodite, because their beta designs went on to be scouts. Rex George in Inazuma 11-1 is Aphrodite's beta design, while Stu Hoofer in Inazuma 11-2 is Bobby's. Rex is a goalkeeper and Stu is a defender. This is known about these scouts because they appear on Aphrodite's and Bobby's concept artwork in the 3rd game. This game does feature a debug mode, but there's not really anything of note in it. Just know that it exists, and if you want to know more, you can check out the cutting room floor. And honestly, check out the cutting room floor anyway. They weren't as huge a help for this video as they usually are for bonus videos, but there's still some cool stuff there that I didn't cover in this video, and they're a phenomenal resource for learning more about some of your favorite games' development histories. The last thing I want to mention in this bonus video is that Inazuma 11 is on RetroAchievements, a platform that basically does what it says on the tin. It adds achievements to retro games up to the PlayStation 2. These achievements for Inazuma 11 are very doable, with most of them relating to scoring in specific matches with certain characters, clearing chapters, recruiting certain players, all that. Some are more brutal than others, but that's what achievements are. They're meant to be a challenge. It does suck a little bit that to use retro achievements, you need to play on emulator, because playing this game with a keyboard and mouse sucks. But still, if this is what will get you to try the game, go for it. And the actual last thing, Inazuma 11 is actually getting a remake. It's scheduled for next year, but I don't know. I wouldn't hold my breath for that with this series right now. It looks kind of bad in my opinion. I'm fine with the chibi overworld like art style. I really am. I was fine with it with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and I'm fine with it here, but I don't know. All these character animations look really uncanny to me. The gameplay also looks odd and hard to adjust to after playing the DS version for so long. Long story short, I wasn't willing to wait for this version to come out to make this Let's Play. Although I'm sure it's going to have all of the cutscenes for this game in HD and would have made things a little less annoying for me. Keep a lookout, maybe it'll be good. And that is just about everything I want to talk about in Inazuma 11. Thank you if you stuck around for the whole video or even the whole Let's Play. I spent a lot of time on this project and I'm really happy with how it turned out. But of course, I couldn't have done this alone. This Let's Play in particular was a huge effort from a ton of people who care a lot about the series. And one who doesn't care about the series at all. First and foremost, I want to thank Eiry. Eiry test viewed all but one video in this series, has reviewed my notes for every single video, has helped me with research and finding sources for research, found information that otherwise was obscure, and more. This first game in the series is very, very poorly documented, and throughout this Let's Play she has done a lot of work to somewhat change that. Eiry actually recorded a message for this video that I'm going to play now. I'll be cutting this down pretty drastically because it's about 18 minutes long, but the full message is linked in the description if you'd like to listen to it.
Hi, I'm Eiry. I'm a wiki editor for the Inazuma 11 wiki, and I do a lot of drawing and game dev work occasionally on my socials. If you want to follow those, I primarily post on Bluesky. You can follow at airy.bluesky.social, or I think it's bsky.social, and I do plan on whenever I plan to post on my projects, I will be posting there. So be sure to follow if you're interested, I guess. If anyone's wanting more Inazuma 11 content, I hopefully with a better mic than this, by which I mean any mic, I will hopefully be playing, either recording or streaming Victory Road when that releases in a couple months. So yeah, I don't know what channel I'll be doing that to yet. So again, follow me on Bluesky. I'll update it there. You've probably heard of me from the Let's Play. I've been helping out a decent amount with the research behind it. I've learned a lot of things about this game from it because it's very poorly documented. If Winter ends up Let's Playing the future games, there'll at least be a lot less work on my end for finding new stuff. I guess you wanted one example. I did not know Layton team was exclusive to the Japanese and American versions of this game. I thought they were in the European versions as well. Apparently not. So that's something I had to fix on the wiki, and I guess on the bright side, it means the Layton page is not very poorly constructed now. I also test watched all but one video in this series. I want to say, if any mistakes got through to the final edits of a video, sorry, that's largely on me. I've loved reading the comments from this Let's Play. I've been going back to all of the videos and seeing if any new comments have come up, both from current fans of the series who are enjoying the Let's Play, but also new fans who are getting into the story for the first time. I've been loving seeing people's reactions, and I'd be happy to see if any of you care to check out more of the series. If you do, I have a quick guide of what you can do next if you're like, man, this soccer shit is crazy. I want more. So first off, I was gonna make a video on this at some point, like, oh, guide for new fans of Inazuma 11, summarized, etc. But one, I'm constantly saying I'm gonna make a video on this, and then I never do. Also, I can give a quick spoiler-free guide on where to go next. Sit down, you might be shocked to hear this. The next game in the series is Inazuma 11 2. There's two versions of the game. like Pokemon, there's Inazuma 2, Firestorm, and Blizzard. There's a number of differences. There's a different team on each version. Some characters level up faster. There's exclusive players and scouts. All that junk. Exclusive move manuals even. You can check all the specifics on the game's page on the Inazuma 11 wiki. If you're prone to spoilers, though, I'd recommend not doing that. And especially this game, I'd recommend just going in with as little information as you can. So ultimately, just pick the version based on what name you prefer or what you think sounds cooler. I promise there's barely any differences in this one. This isn't like the future games where there's huge differences. There was another option for games. In a couple months, November 14th, Victory Road will be hopefully coming out for real this time. They seem pretty confident in the release this time, so I'm willing to bet it's not getting delayed again. I'd say it's a good starting point for any new fans of the series. Ultimately, what makes it probably a good place to start. I know people throw out around a lot with new entries, but I think it really works a bit short since at least what we've seen of the story so far, there's nothing in the main story where you're gonna need to have all of the info from previous seasons to have the full enjoyment of it. Like you're not gonna need to know oh, Blobbo McGluppo has this shooting move in season 7. Like no, it's a very self-contained story, at least so far. Or you might just want to wait one day when Winter's like, you know what, I want to let's play Inazuma 11 Go. Anyway, some quick thanks for myself. I want to thank Robin for being my cool, awesome wife. I want to thank Nep and Tana for helping with research. They know a lot more about the Japanese version than I do. And lastly, I want to thank Winter for letting me live vicariously through her Let's Play. Back when I was 16, 9 years ago now, Jesus. I was like, oh, I really want to make a properly in-depth Choco Convoy style Let's Play of Inazuma 11. I just didn't have the resources back then, nor the motivation. And nowadays, yeah, it's not the sort of thing I want to do, but at least I get to live vicariously through this Let's Play and have that kind of content out. I think it's honestly kind of better because I can actually watch these videos rather than make them, if that makes sense. I guess I'll mention with my own Inazuma content, if I make any, I'm probably not going to be making Let's Plays. If anything, they'll probably just be edited highlights of streams or recordings or whatever. Last little bit of shill-in before we go. Go back to the rest of the video, you lot. Bye-bye.
Thank you to Nep for help with a lot of things, especially in relation to the Japanese and American versions. We never talked directly, but they communicated with Eiry, who communicated to me, and it really did help. And since both of these people work on the Inazuma 11 wiki, thank you to everybody who works on the Inazuma 11 wiki. You're a true shining light on fandom. The Inazuma 11 wiki is a valuable source of information on all sorts of things, and was ultimately the site I came back to when I needed to learn more about most things. It's certainly not the most complete source for the first game, but again, this first game is so underdocumented that there really isn't a complete source for it, so any information is helpful, especially when it's all compiled and organized like it is in a wiki. Thank you to everyone who contributed to the former Poco Wiki and whoever preserved it on the Internet Archive. Poco Wiki had some of the most detailed guides to specific topics in the Japanese version, and I had to consult it for several things throughout the series. Thank you to Flora for voicing Ray Dark throughout this Let's Play. I asked them to participate at basically the last possible second, and they were more than willing and sent me all of their lines in a timely fashion, which I really, really appreciate. I want to give you a little background on why I asked Flora to voice Ray Dark. Eiry has been on a mission to get basically everybody in her circle to play the Inazuma 11 games or watch the anime, and because of this, Flora outright refuses to engage with the series whatsoever, which I respect. So, since Eiry is test watching every single video in the series, I thought it would be a brilliant idea to tell Eiry that she can't test view the first episode Ray Dark appears in without giving her the reason, only for it to be revealed when she watches it, at the same time as everybody else, that Flora is the voice of the main antagonist of the game. So thank you for playing that part. I need to give a massive thanks to Aiden. Now, I thank them in basically every Let's Play, even when they don't do anything, but this time around, I owe them a massive thanks. I have not been shy about saying that while making this Let's Play, I have gone through no less than 4 computers. The first was my laptop that I've been using for years. However, that laptop is on its last legs and was no longer functional enough to run my video editing software. Next was the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad all-in-one PC that I had been gifted about 7 years ago. This computer was horribly outdated, could barely run my editing software, could barely even run my recording software. I mean, this thing was just a piece of garbage, but I still persisted for as long as I could with it, even when it impacted the quality of videos. Then I rented a PC for my yearly charity event, Let's Play for the Trevor Project. I rented this so I could, stream at all. And this computer was a beast. It was way stronger than I could ever have needed. It ran my editing and recording software like it was nothing. I managed to blast through the entire rest of the main story while I had it. And then I had to return it. I thought I'd have to go back to the terrible all-in-one, but then Aiden stepped in. They asked me to come over, and so I did on a Friday night after work, and we built a new computer out of various parts they had no further need for, and they upgraded their computer that same night. I wasn't charged for this, and to this day, this may be the single kindest thing anybody has ever done for me. Aiden has been my best friend since the 3rd grade, and I'm making sure to tell the story in this video just so I can let them know how much I love and appreciate them. You'll always be my best friend, Aiden. Thank you for everything. Thank you as always to the entire The Basement Discord server. It was fun getting to see a few of you experience this game for the first time through this Let's Play, and I couldn't have asked for a better group of friends to lose my mind in front of. And lastly, thank you for watching. This series was a really fun one to create. I'll admit that I was really worried about how this would turn out when it started, but I'm glad you've all seemed to like it. And I couldn't have asked for a kinder reception. We'll return to this series someday. Someday in the distant future, probably. That's all for the series. I'll see you back here soon for a game that is in a genre I have never covered since rebooting the channel. Yeah, it's genuinely getting the exact same hint that this series got. But it's one that works. I'll see you guys then.